the throttle is going to be on the right. So let's see. And then in another video, we're going to change this from mode 1 to mode 2, and we'll explore what mode 3 and mode 4 are. So let's get a battery, get some batteries for this guy, and let's bind it up and see what mode 1 looks like. Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. Long time no see. I've been pretty busy the past few months. I've taken on this renovation of a house, and I'm doing it all by myself, and I got a deadline coming up. So that's why you haven't seen me. But I'm snowed in right now. So as you can see, we're a little snowed in. In some places, I've measured a foot. Where I live, the elevation is a whole lot higher than other parts of Nashville. But I stuck a tape measure in the mess on my patio out back, and it was over 12 inches in some spots. So, all right, I'll close my door and keep what little heat I got left in here still. My poor little heater's been going and going and going and going and going. And 13. That's about as warm as I can get it in this place. I turn the heater off now because it's really loud and makes it hard to film, but maybe 67 is the warmest I've got it in here. So let's make a little video for you guys. So we got the UMX Turbo Timber Evolution, and we got our Spektrum DXS transmitter. This one is mode 1. Let's bind this up to the new UMX Turbo Timber Evolution right here, and let's see what mode 1 looks like compared to the mode 2 that most all of us use. The throttle is going to be on the right. So let's see. And then in another video, we're going to change this from mode 1 to mode 2, and we'll explore what mode 3 and mode 4 are. That's kind of an option if you ever, I don't know, something happened to your hand and you needed to reverse it, or just maybe for handicap reasons that you can change the modes around. So that's pretty cool. So let's get a battery, get some batteries for this guy, and let's bind it up and see what mode 1 looks like. So let's take a look at this UMX Turbo Timber Evolution. This was one of these scratch and dent specials that Tower Hobbies had, a few months back, I guess. They were 89 bucks, and of course, free shipping on planes. So I ordered one, and the scratch and dent part of it, it said there were blemishes on the foam. I don't really see any blemishes, but somebody must have decided that there is. I mean, they could have passed this off as a non-blemished plane. Got a couple little close-ups here. Trying to remember what I thought might be a blemish. Okay, this is what they're talking about. Right there on the black racing stripe, right there. And right there. That's the blemishes they're talking about. And that's a decal, and I just popped one of the bubbles and pushed it down myself right there. There's your blemish. 89 bucks. I forget what they go for in the non-blemished category, but I think it was $30 or $40 less than what it normally takes. So I got a battery for this guy. We got a 3S 300, I guess. I'm just looking. The rudder wasn't moving. I wonder why. Look in there and see the servo linkage or something was messed up. I'm not going to try to force it. We'll let the transmitter do it. Now, this DXS is not programmed for this plane. The DXS, you can buy it by itself, but it comes with a bunch of the ready to flies. Well, programmed, what do you mean programmed, Sean? Well, the transmitter is programmed for the airplane. A lot of the ready to fly planes come with the DXS. Let's say the Aero Scout, for example, and let's say that the servo that controls the rudder, when you push the rudder stick to the left, you need your rudder to go to the left. Well, maybe if you didn't program the transmitter and you pushed it to the left, it actually went to the right. Well, you would reverse those changes in the programming. And let's say that the max elevator up on that particular airplane needed to be like 10 millimeters up. Well, if you gave it full elevator and the elevator went up like 30 millimeters, then you would program that in the transmitter to only move it the 10 millimeters. You know, there's lots and lots of programming that needs to be done in the transmitter for a specific plane. And that's one of the other videos that we're going to do on the DXS is we're going to explore all the other airplanes that you can put in this transmitter. You know, let's say you got an Aero Scout and it came with the DXS, and then you bought whatever, a Commander. Well, can you use the DXS for the Commander? You know, will this switch operate the flaps, or will this switch operate the flaps? You know, will this one operate landing gear, or this one? I don't know. Well, we're going to see what planes can be loaded into this transmitter, and you know, you can use that plane and their functions. The way you program these transmitters is you use a program cable and connect it to your computer, or I'm sure there's ways to do it on tablets and so on. But there's two plugs in the back here, that white one, and then there's a smaller black one right down there. That black one is where you plug in a program cable. The white one is where you would plug in a receiver where you could use this transmitter for training purposes as a trainer, you know, where two transmitters fly one airplane. But this transmitter doesn't come with a second, receiver in it to be able to connect to an airplane and to another transmitter where you can do wireless training. And we'll do some videos on hooking up a SRXL receiver in there as well. So this transmitter is not programmed for this airplane, so we have no idea what's going to happen. But we're going to throw some batteries in this guy and bind it and just give it a whirl. The throttle is on the right. The throttle and rudder and the aliens and the elevator. This ought to be interesting. So the way you bind a transmitter to a UMX airplane, binding is connecting the transmitter to the receiver that's inside the airplane. You can think of it as making a phone call. So we're going to call the plane from the transmitter, and the way you bind a UMX is you just put the battery, in the plane, plug it up. No bind button, no plug. You just plug the battery into the airplane, and then press your bind button and power on the transmitter. That's how you bind a UMX. So we've got a 3S300, and boy, it's got a big motor in there compared to my other UMX timber. That's pretty hefties. The motor in my first, well, not an Evolution, the turbo timber. That motor's like half that size. Interesting. Okay. So the throttle's down. I don't have any Velcro for this battery. All right, she's plugged up. Bind button. And holding the bind button. I'm still holding the bind button. You can see the light flashing inside the airplane. I might be too close. You have to be a couple feet away. So let's try it again. Unplug this guy, turn the transmitter off. All right, transmitter's off. So I'm going to plug up the plane and back away. Plugged up, bind button's down, turning it on. And I just let off the bind button. Looks like it's still flashing inside there. Boy, these things are so delicate. All right, I'm going to turn it off. And I wonder if it won't bind because being mode 1, that shouldn't affect it. I wonder if it won't bind because it's not programmed for it. You know, I was just talking about servo travel and so on. Maybe the speed control doesn't recognize the position of this throttle. You know, it might need to be down, you know, negative 150 or something for it to turn on, or negative 100. And this is actually, you know, who knows what it is. It might need to be programmed for this plane before we can find it. We'll try it one more time, and I'll stand a couple good feet away. All right, the light's flashing inside, bind button's down, and the transmitter made a noise. All right. Put some switches in different positions, and we're going to power the plane again. All right, it's flashing inside. Bind button, turn the power on. There we go. All right, so it bound up. What I did different was I waited a second before I pressed the bind button. I looked inside and I saw the light flashing on the you know, the receiver speed control board, and it kind of changed a different flash pattern. And once it did that, I proceeded with the bind process. All right, so we got flaps down, and we got no idea what this transmitter does. No idea at all. The telemetry is working. The 4 green lights mean it has a charged battery, which it does. So let's see if we can get the flaps to do something. So that did something with the elevator. All right, so here's a good, interesting. Look at that elevator on the left. Oh, I thought on the left would be elevator and the ailerons, and no, the rudder. So this must be the aliens. So the ailerons and the speed would be on the same stick. And there's no throttle yet. There must be maybe a throttle hold or something. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It had a throttle hold. Turn that back on. Well, none of the switches will operate the flaps. None of the switches will operate the flaps because it's not programmed for it. So we'll have to do some exploring in another video on programming this, and can you program the DXS for this UMX Turbo Timber evolution. I say we bind this thing up to my transmitter that will do everything. We'll take my NX6 and we'll add the UMX Turbo Timber evolution to it, and then we'll bind the NX6 up, and we'll just make sure all the functions of this little UMX plane work. So we'll go through this menu here. And model select. That's a good one right there. YouTube, subscribe and like. Are you still subscribed? Check and see if you're still subscribed, because people are unsubscribing and they're not doing it. There's a glitch or something. So add new bind and fly. And now we need to go through the list and try to find the UMX Turbo Timber Evolution. I don't think there's much difference between this and the UMX Turbo Timber. So UMX Timber, and I'm going to go to the bind screen real quick. Right there. And we'll plug this gap again. I'll wait till the light changes inside from solid red, and then it goes to the blue and red flashing. Oh, condokums. Now it's bound up to the... Oh, I'm not going to fight that hood right now. So, let's see. Yep. So the aliens are right. And elevator. And throttle. So, flaps are on the flap switch. Boy, it's got little tiny ball links on it. Look at that. It's got miniature ball links. That's crazy. The blemished UMX Turbo Timber Evolution. Put this guy back in his garage here. You know, if you have the room for these boxes, these things make the perfect case to transport your plane to your flying spot, and you know, for protection and for working on them. You know, if you're tinkering with it, you can put it in this little cradle and set it upside down on your workbench. Yeah, they put a lot of thought into this box, you know, being part of it. Get my propeller stuck in there just right. And then it's got a lid. Plus, there's this little plastic rubbery material right there. Just like so. And then there's a couple pieces of blue painter's tape in there. And then it's got a handle. It's got a go handle. And they ship it in a pretty well protected box also. So look at this. So we've got that one. And I got another one. And I'll give the brand new one away to somebody. I'll give that other brand new, never been opened UMX Turbo Timber Evolution and this Spektrum DXS transmitter. Now it's mode 1. You'll have to change it on your own. But I'll give this and that plane together to somebody if you guys can get my second YouTube channel over 1,000 subscribers in 1 week. It can be done. I see how many videos or how many times the videos are watched. It needs like 650 more to go. You guys get that channel up to 1,000, then I'll come back to this channel and do a drawing. Pretty good odds. It would really help me out, and it will hook somebody else up with a plane and a transmitter. We'll do a drawing right here on the Griffin RC plane channel. I've had a few drawings in the past, and it's like 20% sign up, you know. So if the video got got 1,000 views, then 250 would sign up. You know, it'd be like 1 in 250 chance. You know, whatever. Pretty good odds. I would really appreciate it, and it would help somebody else out with the plane here in the lower 48. I'll mail it to the winner. So 1 week, starting from, okay, so it's Tuesday the 16th right now, really early in the morning, like a little after midnight. So the 23rd of January is the following Tuesday. So that's a week, and it'll be like 8 days. So midnight on the 23rd. Between now and the midnight on the 23rd, if you get my other channel, which is named YouTube Pays My Mortgage. That's the name of my other channel. I'll put a link in the description. YouTube Pays My Mortgage. You get that channel to 1,000 subscribers by the 23rd of January. Then I'll come back to this channel on the 24th and do a drawing. All right? Hey, up to 1,000, guys. I'd appreciate it. Once that rehab's done, I'll be back right here with you guys full time. So we got lots to do with the DXS. I got 2 of these, one for you and one for us to tinker with. So, all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate it. Look in the description. And hey, until next time, you'll see me here. Adios, guys. Dang it.